what is going on in the Greater Toronto Area real estate market right now? Is it hot? Is it cold? Are there bidding wars? Are there no bidding wars? What is happening? Price reductions here, terminated listings here, sold in one day, sold in hours. What has happened in the Greater Toronto real estate market? Well, let me tell you, because the May stats are in, and you may be surprised with some things because we've had some ultimate lows and some highs. So why don't you sit back and stay with us while I try to dive into the numbers and break this down for you so you can get a little bit more of a clearer picture of what's happening in and around your area. Hey there, I'm Matt Sloan, and I'm a realtor here in the Greater Toronto Area. And if you like this video, I could ask a huge favor. Can you please subscribe to the channel, as it would mean a lot. And if you do like this video, please give it a thumbs up, as I'm really trying to grow my new YouTube channel here. Anyways, let's get back into the numbers and really what's been going on to start the year, or this first half of the year, in the Greater Toronto real estate market, and possibly what's to come after we just found out that the Bank of Canada finally reduced rates after 4 years. So sit back and stay with me while we go through these stats that may give you a little bit more of a clearer picture. So first up, I like to bring up this dot chart. It's really great chart as it really shows how the market has evolved over the years, starting from February 2020 all the way to May 2024. And, taking out those COVID years there, as we'll call them, 2021 to early 2022, you can really see the ebbs and flows of the market have evolved naturally with a couple spikes and a couple dips, depending on the seasonal change. So really besides that big spike in 2021, 2022, we've seen a nice natural progression here in the Toronto real estate market. Lastly, or not lastly, but one thing I do want to point out is just how this year specifically has reacted. If you look at January 2024 all the way to May 2024, we have seen a slight little increase with prices holding for most part, but ever so slightly increasing over the months and almost getting up to, or just about to, where we were last year around this time, which is a good thing. But let's dive in a little bit deeper and see what's been going on with the amount of sales and listings that we've had. So this breaks out the stats for the Greater Toronto Area real estate market from year over year. So we can see year over year, like I said, we're basically at the same average price point as we were last year. So not much has changed from this time last year to last year from the average price standpoint. And we're sitting at just about 1.1 million or $1.124 million. Next, if we look at the number of sales that we had, now remember, last year was a record low in sales. And if we look at where we are right now, we're actually a little bit under that. So a 2% decrease. So we're still trending on that record low amount of sales so far. But I think that attributes to the last couple months, people have really been anticipating this rate, Bank of Canada rate change that just happened last week. And I think there were a lot of sellers and buyers on the sidelines, kind of waiting to see what that announcement in June was going to be. So good news for some, and especially good news for the variable rate holders. Like I mentioned, the Bank of Canada did lower last week. So let's see what's to come here. As for days on market, we've definitely increased the days on market. We've averaged 23 days right now, and that is a lot up from last year. But last year, remember, at this time, we had next to no inventory. Things were flying off the shelves, and the market was pretty hot. So the days on market were a lot lower this time last year in the spring market. Lastly, on this one though, we want to look at this big red number here, 3.1 months of inventory. That once we get in that 3-month category, we're really in a balanced market. This is for all home types though. So again, there's some markets and price points that are going to be, selling within a week, multiple offers. And there's going to be others that, maybe it's in the condo space, maybe it's in the luxury space, that depending on the area might be sitting a little bit longer. So that's attributing to the 3 months of inventory. But again, sitting in a balanced market, so not terrible. This next slide, again, it really shows the last 13 months. So we could compare last May 2023 to this May 2024, and we can see how the difference is. Even though the price is relatively the same, we know it's a little bit lower for the average price specifically in May compared to last year, even though the average sale price overall for the year is really similar. But the thing to note is last year we had 868 listings. So just under 12,000 active listings at this time last year, and only 1.3 months of inventory. So really big seller's market this time last year. And if you look at this year, we have almost double the amount of active listings right now at 21,750, 60 listings right now, which is attributing to, like I just mentioned, that 3.1 months of inventory. Price is holding up okay, I'd say, which kind of shows that we may have hit a bit of a floor in price right now, where, again, we're not seeing too many spikes up or down one way or the other. And again, I think that's because things are still active, but a lot of people were waiting for that announcement that happened last week. Next, if we dive into specifically the month of May, we can compare it to the last 6 years in May specifically. And we can kind of see that the number of sales compared to previous years and the active listings compared to previous years. So number of sales was super low for the month of May. Again, when looking at last year was one of our slowest years that we've had in a long time. 2022, month of May was when the interest rates had just started going up and the real estate market really slowed down. So we're even less than that of 2022 compared to 2022 in the number of sales. And if you look at active listings, we've had a lot more of active listings compared to previous years at this time. We got to look back at 2019 to really even get in that range. And then what happened in shortly after 2019, we had a lot of pent up demand that once we hit 2020, things were moving, and even in the end of 2019. So it'll be interesting to see how, once the Bank of Canada has made this announcement, like we said last week, and if they make another reduction in July, what's going to happen? Is it going to follow the similar trend as we saw towards the end of 2019 and into 2020? Well, it's something to keep an eye on. So anyways, I hope this kind of painted a little bit more of a picture of where we are and where we might be headed here in the Greater Toronto real estate market. If you have any questions, again, because I said every micro market is a little bit different right now. Every price point is a little bit different. Every home type is a little bit different right now. So if you want to know more information about where you are or where you might hope to be, reach out. I'd be happy to dive into the micro markets a little bit further for you. Again, if you like this video, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean a lot. Give it a like, and I'll see you in the next one.